Beef samosa has always been a favorite snack of biting. I've always wanted to learn and I've decided to do it with you. Come along. Hello good people, hope you're doing well. Finally we have a samosa recipe courtesy of Rose. I don't know how to make samosas and I have to bring you recipes, so my friend is here to come through for me and she's a baker. So if you need cake, I'll link her Instagram down below and her number, so you can always place your order. Please support a sister. Yeah. My name is Rose from Red Rose Cakery, and today we'll be making beef samosas. But my specialty is baking. Okay. Yeah. Perhaps she'll bake for us a cake before she leaves. Maybe, who knows? It's the festive season. Yeah. To start with, she's just adding oil to the cooking pot and allowed it to heat up for a few minutes. She added the minced beef to the hot oil, and I'm doing this voiceover because we had forgotten to shoot until at some point, so kindly bear with us. We're making our beef samosas, and this is our ground beef. Made sure it's not clumpy. It's not full of clumps, that's why you can see I'm breaking them up. And then in a short while we shall add our leeks. So what have you already added there? This is just oil and ground beef. So this is our red onion and our leeks. We're adding them now, making sure to stir it up so that it's well incorporated into the samosa filling. Make sure you have a generous amount of onions or leeks, depending on which one you choose to use, or using either, because they add awesome flavor to your ground beef. I'm adding a bit of salt to our filling. I'm putting small. You don't want to oversalt the filling. And then my secret ingredient for samosa fillings is cumin powder. It gives you that amazing aroma and awesome taste. So using like a teaspoon of the cumin powder for the meat that we have, and then we're using some cayenne pepper for that hotness. You can choose to use green chilies if you have, or even powdered chili if that's what you have in your house. We stir our samosa mix to make sure that all the powders we've added, the salt, the cumin powder, and the cayenne pepper, a bit of it, is properly incorporated into our filling. You can see the awesome how it's coming together. Yeah, we have color, we have smell. It smells amazing. And it's like they are in pieces, as in they're not clumped up. Yeah, just the way you want it. So now we add our last ingredient, which is dania. On this one, some people use, some people don't. I personally prefer it with some dania because of the taste. Me too. And yeah, you just give it a few seconds for it to get the steam from the ground beef mix, and then you can switch off your mix and let it cool as you tend to the pocket mixtures and start making the pockets. That way, by the time you're done making the pockets, your ground beef filling is ready to be used. It has cooled off. Okay. You should not use it when it's hot. Okay. It will thoroughly disappoint you. And also, it should not have water. It should not. You have actually, when you're cooking, you don't need to add any liquid. The meat itself is
has its own liquid, and that liquid will cook itself out. So just leave it as it is. You don't need to add any water.
Okay.
So we've divided our samosa dough into smaller portions. So I'm going to be showing you.
And the balls must be equal.
Yeah, to get at least the best consistency, try and make sure the balls are the same size. So I'm going to do one, and then I'll be stacking them up in like bunches of 3 or 4. In between, I'll be adding a bit of oil and flour, so that when we put them in the pan and then we remove them,
they are still intact.
Yeah.
They don't intermarry.
They don't come we stay together. Yeah, we'll be able to
They're not
now
stuck
split
together.
them out properly without them being stuck. These ones I'm going to do small.
Very thin, eh?
No, your pockets have to be very thin. So this one I'm using this as a guide. So I'm doing the very small size first, and then I put them aside, and then I'm going to layer them up with the nini and then stretch it out a bit. Our ninis are coming along well. They're almost the same size. So to assemble, I'm going to be using
Okay.
I'm going to add oil. Sure you've covered from edge to edge, and then you're going to add a bit of flour. Sprinkle a bit of flour. That way, once we are done, they'll be easy to come out. And then I'll put this on top. Put it aside, or I can stack all the 4.
What have you done here?
So we've just toasted our samosa wraps in the pan for a few seconds. Now I'm going to try and detach them. I feel, yeah, so that
It's giving.
you can be able to cut them and use them. Do this gently so that it doesn't make sure they are as thin as possible, but not too thin, as it will be a bit difficult when you're trying to release them. So voila, this is our samosa wraps that we're going to use to make the samosa pockets. Don't worry about the shapes. You can use a plate to cut out the excess, the edges, and have a correct shape. Our samosa wraps. Now we're going to cut them and glue them and have our samosa pockets. They've come out so well. The trick is when you're splitting the balls, ensure you have the same size that way. And as you're rolling it, don't roll it too thin, don't roll it too thick either, just the right consistency. If you roll it too thick, as you're gluing it, they'll start cracking. If you're rolling it too thin, when you're removing it like this, they'll start tearing. So voila, you see how easily they come out?
Yeah.
Enough wraps for our filling. Cut our wraps into 4 quarters. And then we're going to glue them and have our filling. Put our filling inside. We're going to show you how the final outcome will be. So there we have it. We're done splitting our pockets. As you can see, they're thin enough but not too thin, just the right consistency, and we have enough to do our fillings. Now the next step, you need glue, which you'll make using flour and a bit of water. We've done our glue, and there you have it. That's the consistency you need it to be, not too runny. So now we are going to start gluing our pockets and filling them in with the ground beef we made earlier. There you have it, our samosa pocket. We've sealed it up using the glue. We're going to add the filling, the ground beef filling we made earlier, and then we're going to seal it up using the same glue now here at the top. Make sure all your edges you apply glue and properly sealed, so that as you're deep frying it, the filling doesn't spill out. Just make sure it's properly sealed. Like here at the bottom, there's no chance of anything coming out. Yeah, so make sure it's properly sealed. You don't want to do all this hard work and then you end up with beef being deep fried because you didn't seal it properly. So there you have it. We have our samosa pocket that is now filled with the ground beef filling. It smells so nice, looks so amazing. Don't overfill it. Then now we are going to apply the glue, starting from the top edge. You can do this if you have a small pastry brush, you can use that, but I find doing it by hand faster and more thorough. There you have it. I've not overfilled the samosa pocket, so it's likely not to tear as we are deep frying it. If you overfill it, you risk tearing the pocket. By the time you're going to deep fry them, they will be so filled up that now they'll be bursting from the seams. So there you have it.
So it was time to cook. First, we put a piece of the pocket to just test if the oil is hot, or you can use any wooden item. If there are bubbles, then you're sure that the oil is hot. And now we add our samosas. You will note that we are putting the sealed side at the bottom. It helps so that it is intact by the time you are turning the other side, to avoid the breaking or the disconnect. If you're still watching, kindly consider subscribing and giving this video a like and share if you can. As you can see, after some time they turn brown. When one side turns brown, it just shows it's cooked, so you turn the other side. And we are cooking on medium heat so that they don't overcook, because we don't want burnt offerings. some delicious samosas. Man, I've not had samosas homemade in a very long time. But you know what? We have samosas and a recipe. So allow me to enjoy and see you on our next one. Bye.